Hi, I'm Chuck Mahar, and this is Mahar's Vintage Guitars. I thought I'd introduce you to my business, my passion. Mahar's Vintage Guitars, it's not Mahar's, it's not Mars. I wouldn't have called it Mahar's Vintage Guitars if Mahar didn't rhyme with guitars. I started buying and selling guitars at a young age. I've been at it for quite some time. I started in 93, 94, opened a music store in Chico, California, where we still operate today. We opened in 95, and we ran through the start of e-commerce, built a brick and mortar business that we were really proud of. We were doing sound, we were fixing guitars, we were buying and selling vintage stuff, new guitars. It was something I thought I'd do for the rest of my life, something I really loved and enjoyed. And circumstances beyond my control steered us away from that path. My focus always was, especially because we started so early in e-commerce, was to do my best to make it comfortable for people to buy a guitar online. I knew that the rubs were the ability of the customer, of the buyer of a guitar, to get enough information to feel comfortable making that purchase without touching the guitar, which is how all of us bought guitars and fell in love with guitars. Understanding that it's hard to buy and bond with an instrument when you're purchasing over the internet requires you, I think, to do some different things as a guitar dealer. And I've done this from the start. Our website is not one where you'll go to and you'll see, call for more info, call for more photos. Our website is full of detail, full of pictures, so you understand exactly what you're getting from us. All the guitars are fully disclosed. Originality, of course, is hugely important, especially in a valuable vintage instrument. So we want to show that to you all up front so that you know exactly what you're getting when you buy a guitar from us. People often ask, do we specialize in something? And I think really our specialty is just what I've been saying, is documenting and picturing and providing good information for our instruments, for our clients, and offering what comes our way. Of course, we love vintage Fenders, we love vintage Gibsons, we love vintage Gretsches, we love tweed amps, but we also try to bring a little something for everybody. So we've got some Jackson, some Ibanez, some pointy stuff, some jazz boxes. We've got lap steels, we've got tube amps, half stacks, sometimes drum sets. It's really about just finding really cool inventory and something different for our clients. That's something I just love to do. So I'm constantly hunting for cool new stuff to put on the website. The moving away from the brick and mortar traditional retail format has been one thing that I've really loved about buying and selling vintage guitars. When you own a music store, you've got to sell picks, you've got to sell strings, straps. You have to have new stuff, you have to have brand names. You're kind of a prisoner to that whole environment. Nowadays, we operate the shop in a commercial space, and it's on appointment. And the great byproduct for the customer is that you can come in, make a time. We have a room to sit you amidst all our amps. You want to try a bass or a guitar? You have all the time in the world and all the space you need. And you can get as loud or as quiet as you want, and you're not bothering anybody. And you can really check out the instrument that you've been able to see in our documentation online. One huge part of our business, of course, is acquiring vintage guitars, amps, and basses from our clients. And it's something we take very seriously. It's a lot for someone to consider selling one of their prized vintage guitars or a collection or something they've been left by a relative. So you can always trust that we use the same transparency in purchasing instruments from our clients as we do advertising our pieces that are for sale. And we do buy single pieces, whole collections. We offer consignment and appraisals, but the biggest focus for us is definitely treating our customers right. And one of the harder things to do in this business is to acquire vintage gear. And so we want to make sure that people who bring it to us get treated really well. I've been playing guitar since I was about 12 years old. And being 50 plus, I've been at it a while now, and I'm not an outstanding player, honestly. but I've always just been completely addicted to the gear. And it drove me 3,000 miles from my home to come to Chico to go to recording school at Chico State University. I did sound for bands for years and multiple clubs around town and this crazy fertile music scene we had. And between the recording and the live sound component, even if I wasn't a guitar player, I think I'd know good tone. And that's obviously hugely important in this business. But being a player, a sound guy, former recording engineer, I think I bring a little different experience set to the table than some people who are selling guitars online. I'm Chuck Mahar, and this is my business, Mahar's Vintage Guitars. We're at maharsvintageguitars.com, where you'll find our inventory exquisitely documented with an incredible amount of detail and no call for you to call us for more information. That's our focus. It's transparency in buying and selling vintage instruments and providing you all the information you need to really bond with an instrument online and feel comfortable with the purchase.